Morning, Scunthorpe fans. I'm just doing the video reference after the game yesterday. I really weren't up to doing it after the game yesterday. It was all pretty emotional. It was, as most of you know, you all felt it, the emotion of the day. In all honesty, it was during the game. It was hard to sort of take in what was particularly happening on the pitch. Although that's what's important, that's what we're all trying to save. It was hard to think of anything other than what was going on in the background at the club, and it could be the demise and the death of our club. I think it was a game of two halves. I agreed with, after listening to Jimmy Dean, I thought he gave a passionate, good interview after, and basically he said all that needed to be said. In all honesty, for me, it was a game of two halves. I think we had about 95% possession in the first half. We had some good chances. We played some quick passing football, stuff that, you know, it was nice to watch. And then I think in the second half, once the goal had gone in, I think the heads basically went down, because it was an early goal to concede the first one. The second goal that we conceded, it was a shocking cock-up to me by our back line. And whether or not the third one should have been a penalty, not because whether it was inside the box or not, it didn't look like it was inside the box from where we was. But it all didn't seem to make any difference, really, because I think everybody's minds were more focused on what's going on. And I'd like to say, a massive thank you to for all the messages of support from, not just from Scunthorpe supporters as well, though there's been lots from fans, from the football community. The amount of messages I've had loads and loads of wonderful supportive messages from Notts County supporters, Chesterfield supporters, Grimsby Town supporters, the older shot Premiership teams. It goes on that absolutely, and it's heartwarming in a sense, the level of support and the amount of football supporters that are in agreement that there's something fundamentally wrong in the game when clubs can go to the wire and be got in this mess by, let's say it, dodgy owners, whichever ones it is. And yes, I've put my hands up. I backed Daville, and I'm sort of regretting it now. And I put my hands up. Yeah, I shouldn't have done. But maybe I was naive. I don't know. But at the end of the day, football clubs, whether it's us, Southend. I mean, I've had lots of messages from loads of Southend supporters as well, and they're in the mire. They've been in this situation for years now, struggling and not knowing whether their club's going to survive. So, you know, and the one thing I think what epitomised yesterday was the fact that making the big thing on the United we stand, and it's true. That's what we all have to do, and I think we are doing. And the over 50,000, well over 50,000 now. I think that the donations to cover the staff. I mean, I don't know how much it'll be for covering the staff's wage bill, but what an awesome feat of unity and togetherness. And when you read through the messages that people have put, it brings a tear to the eye. It really does. So I didn't really have that much to say on the game. I found it hard sat there to focus and concentrate on what was happening and who was doing what, in all honesty. I've got to say, I weren't that impressed. I think Buxton came and did a good job on us. They're a very good defensive side, but I've got to say, I thought they were a very aggressive. Well, one or two of them on the bench, particularly the big meathead that I think's the goalkeeping coach, I'm presuming, that absolutely horrible, aggressive-looking man. It seemed like he wanted to fight everybody. And while I'm not condoning the people that went on the pitch, because it's not going to achieve anything, and if the club gets fined for it, well, it's not going to serve a purpose. But people have a right to do that. And he ran across just looking for a fight. Big, massive, meat, muscly head that just basically wanted to fight anybody. I mean, most of those that went on the pitch, half of them was under 9 years old by the looks of them, and he was there, you know, mouthing off as if he was some big, hard case. Well, anyway, you know, there was no need for it on that day. He knew what was happening to our club. He knew how people felt, how emotions was running high. And so, yeah. Well, that brings me to what can we all do? And I see the Iron Army were going around with buckets yesterday. Another fantastic thing, trying to get... Because again, raising this money is a fantastic thing, but not everybody can always pay online and do things like that. So having bucket collections, etc., thought was a fantastic idea. And I've got an idea for if anybody's up for it, anybody from Iron Army, on next Friday, the day before our last game, if we can maybe meet up in Scunthorpe Town Centre, take the flags and stuff into the town centre, some buckets, not only to collect money for the staff, but also to try and get people that are in the town centre and encourage people to get down to the game on Saturday as a means of urging people to get down and support the club. The more people there, the more it looks a good option for somebody to invest in, because they see a good, loyal fan base that are fighting for their lives of the club. So yeah, I think what I want to do is maybe aim to go into the town centre. I don't know whereabouts in the town centre, but in the shopping precinct probably, somewhere where I can set the flags up, and if there's people that want to come along with some buckets from the Iron Army and help collecting the town, and like I say, try and encourage people. I mean, people have said about petitions and this, that and the other that. I'm not always sure that petitions work, but if people thought that was a good idea, maybe that's something else that could be done. But, you know, we want to talk to people, we want to encourage the council and whatnot, and you try and push the council, the local MPs into anything that can be done to help the club. So yeah. So again, just to reiterate that the big thank you for all the supportive messages from the whole football community. It's very, very heartwarming and awesome. So yeah. So anyway, I'll leave that there for you all and say, you know, up the iron. Take care, everybody.